Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to the first of our new series of videos, which we will be bringing to you every Monday with our initial thoughts and stats from the weekend. A lot happened on and off the pitch, so it's a great week to get this started. All the stats you see are from the Fantasy Football Scout members area, as per usual. If you like what you see, do click like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on our more regular content that we have planned for the rest of the season alongside the main pod. Before we get talking on the sacking of Rodgers and Potter, let's first look at the numbers from the weekend. Newcastle and Brighton were top for XG 3.68. Newcastle took 33 shots and recorded 5 big chances. Palace took 31 shots but had just one big chance. Chelsea took 27 shots, had 3 big chances but failed to score any goals, as we all know. Bournemouth's numbers are quite surprising. They recorded 5 big chances from just 9 shots in the box. Arsenal numbers were very good as well. Those of us who sold the defensive and offensive assets, we got quite lucky. They have good numbers at both ends of the pitch, and something we need to think about going forward. Looking at the worst teams, Leicester, Southampton, Liverpool, Wolves, and Man United all failed to create a single big chance and all recorded under 0.5 xG numbers. Villa took only 2 shots in the box, scored 2 goals. McGinn was outside the box, I know. Brentford took only 6 shots. Not a very high shot volume, but a lot of big chances, as is usually the case. Some player stats. Joe Willock was top for XG, 1.73 with 3 big chances, but a surprising name in second. Solanke, 1.41 XG with 2 big chances. Someone to consider maybe going forward. I think Solly March owners and captainers got quite unlucky. He was top for shots in the box with 6 and he also created 3 chances, 0.9 xG. For March, KDB looked very good against Liverpool, possibly back to his best. He created 5 chances and he recorded a big chance for his goal. His XGI was 1.47, which is in the top 5 or 6, I think, for the weekend. Grealish is continuing to shine in the left wing role and somebody we should really take seriously now as an FPL option. He had 3 shots in the box, he created 1 chance and recorded an XGI of 1.1. The Man United guys were a train wreck. Neither Rashford or Bruno took a single shot. Let's now talk about the 2 high-profile sackings that we have seen over the weekend, Potter and Rodgers, and naturally Potter up first. As a Chelsea fan, I very rarely want a manager to be sacked, but it had genuinely become depressing watching us under Potter. I had stopped looking forward to Chelsea matches I used to dread when Chelsea were going to play, and this had sort of sucked out my enjoyment for football, and as a result, my enjoyment of FPL over the last few weeks had become very draining, very depressing watching Chelsea, which has been something I haven't really experienced in the last 10 years as a fan. And I think the new owners have to take a large part of the blame. Potter was never an instant result manager. He needed time. And I think they made his job a lot more difficult by signing high profile players to an already bloated squad in January. So many of our past managers, that's what they've complained about. We simply have too many players, and rather than just go spending like a kid in a candy store, Todd and Co really needed to sell players and make Potter's job easier rather than make it harder. I do think he needed to go though. He looked out of his depth and his substitutions were only getting worse and worse every game. His game management was really, really poor. Even the good results we did get against Leeds, Dortmund and all of that stuff, he made his job harder by the substitutes he brought on in the second half of the game. The constant chopping and changing wasn't working, and the news coming out of the Chelsea training ground is that the players had lost faith. And even in the stadium, you could feel the toxicity at the end of the Aston Villa game. I was really dreading what was going to come over the next few weeks, so a change was needed. It was possibly going to be humiliating against Liverpool and Real Madrid. But now at least I'm sure me and a lot of other Chelsea fans feel a sense of optimism for the rest of the season because the squad is simply too good to be where it is now, and ultimately the manager has to take the blame. We can't sell all the players, although a lot of these players do need to have a look at themselves and they need to go in the summer. Even if we do get eliminated in the Champions League, I do expect our performances to improve for the rest of the season. Otherwise, I don't know what we would be doing for the last 10 games. And I do think that the owners will appoint a new coach before the summer. I don't see us going with the interim manager till the end of the season. So Onwards and upwards for Chelsea, and those of us with Chelsea assets, I think we should only be more optimistic. I don't know if the new manager will necessarily play wing backs or not, but James and Chilwell are going to be attacking regardless. Another manager who got the axe was, of course, Brendan Rodgers, or Broj, as he is known on the pod. I've always felt that the results Leicester have got this season have been despite of Rodgers and because of him. He always seemed to want to make it about him with random tactical change, different formations every game, and there was a winning formula there. And he seemed unhappy from the start of the season with Leicester's lack of business in the transfer window, and most of us were actually expecting him to go much earlier when they had such a poor start. Then they had this good run of results just before the start of the World Cup, which kept him in the job. But he really needed to go with Leicester now in the bottom three. And we have always rated Iheanacho very highly on the FPL Wire, and Rodgers' constant tinkering has robbed us of a fantastic FPL asset over the past few years. I do expect the Nigerian to come back into the starting lineup and a no manager bounce from Leicester over the next 2 home games. Anyone holding their assets, especially in attack, should be very excited. I'm personally quite worried as someone without Maddison or Iheanacho now. Maddison under Rodgers over the last 6 matches had only 4 shots in the box, but now I expect that number to go up. And he's a good asset now, possibly to hold even after the City game, longer term. So that's 3 interim managers we will be seeing now over the next 2 days. That's in Spurs, Leicester and Chelsea. The no manager bounce could be in full effect. That's it for this Monday's video. Do let us know in the comments what you thought of it. And again, please like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on the more frequent content that's coming. See you again soon.